The state authorities of Manipur have increased their vigilance level, enforcing Section 144 and giving orders to shoot at sight in areas affected by violent clashes between different communities. The situation has led to uncontrollable violence with several communities, including the Meitei, Kuki, and Naga, involved in the violent clashes. Reports from the media suggest that these clashes have led to displacement of 23,000 people belonging to the tribes of Manipur. According to Al Jazeera, the death toll from the violent clashes in Manipur has reached to over 54 people. The Indian Army has increased its surveillance in the state, particularly in the Imphal Valley, to avoid any clashes and to bring the violence under control. Although the authorities have not released an official death toll, the local media reports suggest that over a dozen of people have died and hundreds of people have been injured in the ongoing ethnic community violence in Manipur. Given the situation, here's all you need to know. The current escalation of violence in Manipur has its roots in the long-standing demand of the Meitei community for a scheduled tribe tag. This demand has been ongoing for over a decade and lies in the Meitei community's desire for government benefits and special reservations. The immediate trigger for this violence, however, was an order issued by the High Court of Manipur that directed the state government to recommend the Meitei community's inclusion in the scheduled tribe category to the Union Tribal Affairs Ministry by May 29. The petitioners have argued that the Meitei community had this status before the merge of Manipur with the Indian Union and are now seeking a restoration of the status. The recent directive by the Manipur High Court to include the Meitei community in the list of scheduled tribe has triggered opposition and protests from the other tribal communities of Manipur such as Naga and Kuki. On May 3rd, a student body called for a tribal solidarity march in which thousands of people participated from the 10 hill districts in Manipur to oppose the inclusion of the Meitei community in the scheduled tribes list. The protest was peaceful, but tensions remain high between the different communities in the state. The opposition to the inclusion of the Meitei community in the scheduled tribe list mainly stems from the fear that it will lead to the loss of the unique identity of other tribal groups and result in a loss of government benefits and reservations. It is true that the government in Manipur has been dominated by the Meitei community, which accounts for 53% of Manipur's population. The Meitei community predominantly resides in the Imphal Valley, which only comprises about 10% of the area of the state. The dominance of the Meitei community in Manipur's state government has led to suspicions among other communities, particularly the Nagas and Kukis, who make up 40% of Manipur's population and reside in the valleys and hills surrounding the Imphal Valley. It is notable that the Imphal Valley, which only makes up 10% of the Manipur's total land area, is where the Meitei community predominantly exercises political control. On the other hand, the surrounding hills, which make up 90% of Manipur's land area, is fertile and ideal for militant hideout and has been home to a long-running insurgency. The eviction drive in the special reserve forest areas, which started in February, has been considered as an anti-tribal move and has caused concern and discontent among the Kuki community and the other tribal communities which reside in these areas. Prior to Chief Minister N. Viren Singh's visit to Churachandpur district last week, a violent mob set on fire and vandalized a venue in the New Lamka town where he was scheduled to address a function. The mob also partially torched a newly opened gym which Singh was supposed to inaugurate. The attack occurred barely 11 hours before a total shutdown was called in the entire Churachandpur district. The indigenous tribe leader forums had submitted multiple memorandums to the government protesting the ongoing eviction of farmers from the reserve forest lands and other forest settlers. However, they claimed that the government had not shown any sincerity in addressing the plight of the people. According to the General Secretary of the Kuki Students Organization, several areas in the Hill District have been declared as reserve forest or protected forest, which has led to the displacement of hundreds of people from the tribe. He emphasized that the Kuki people's anger was not only about the eviction but also of the government's failure to rehabilitate those who have been displaced. The demolition of churches, which have mainly been used by the tribal people to pray, added to the growing discontent in Manipur. The government claimed that these churches were built illegally on government land, but the move was seen as an attack on the religious rights of the tribal people. Various organizations condemned the demolition and demanded that the government rebuild the churches on the same site. This incident further fueled the tensions between the tribal communities and the government. However, no one imagined that these situations would cause a spiral of violence in the state of Manipur, which is often called the Jewel of the Northeast, with situations such as forest fire, killing and wounding, forcing thousands of people to flee from their homes, and seeing the central government rush in the Indian Army, Assam Rifles, and various central police forces to contain the situation.